Am I going to have to repeat this again? How many times are we going to sing this song? Today we're going to be talking about repetition and how important it is for your child's learning. This is Adventures in Suzuki Parenting. Hi, I'm Jody St. Clair. I teach violin and Suzuki Early Childhood in Eugene, Oregon. Please make sure to like this video if you find it helpful and hit subscribe so that you can get practice tips every week. Today we're going to be talking about repetition. This is applicable for both early childhood and for instrumental learning, but we're going to be specifically talking about how it applies in the Suzuki Early Childhood class. When you sign up your tiny baby for a class, you're going to find that you're going to do the same 2 classes every other week, swapping, for 3 years. It's a very long time to invest in the same pieces, but it is designed very specifically that way. And what I love about this is when I have students that have graduated from early childhood into my instrumental studio, those families don't bat an eye at having to repeat Twinkle many times before we really have mastered it. It's something they've grown to expect by being in the Suzuki Early Childhood program. So why do we want to do 3 years of the same pieces? Isn't that going to drive us a little crazy? Oh, my child is going to get bored with all of that repetition. Actually, that repetition is your child's natural learning state. I want you to think about how they learned things as they were infants and toddlers. They will repeat the same thing over and over again. Sometimes driving the grown-ups a little bit insane, but they have no problem with it. I remember specifically both my children, when they were learning how to crawl, were trying to crawl in their sleep. They were just so obsessed with learning this new skill that they couldn't even really turn it off while they were sleeping. That repetition is just part of their natural learning system, and it's really important. In the Suzuki Early Childhood class, we are creating this environment that's full of repetition in order for them to really gain a high level of mastery over these skills. Now, that doesn't take away the fact that it's kind of hard as the parent to do these things over and over again. So let's talk about how we can kind of cope with that and what are the tools you can use to make it more enjoyable for yourself. We know that the more that the parent is enjoying it, the more your child is going to get out of it as well. So what are some of the things that you can do to make it easier? First, you can create lots of variations on the same pieces. We do this in class by picking a different body part to tap the beat on. Maybe one time we do shoulders and another time we do our head. That kind of variation will just make it more interesting for you. You can also pick different numbers or different colors for different pieces. So for instance, when we do piece pour a chat, we don't always have to do 9 days. You can do a different number of days, and you can find that a lot of the songs have a different number in them, and you can create variation in the pieces that way. One of my favorite ways to create variation is by doing it with different dynamics. So that means singing it forte or loud one time, and maybe singing it piano or softly the next time. And you can do this by doing one section forte and another section piano, or the whole song forte and then piano, or reverse, or maybe even getting louder as you go. You be creative with it and find ways that are going to keep you engaged as well. Lastly, you may find variations that I wouldn't have thought about. So it's something specific to your family. Don't be afraid to invent new variations for you and your child. The last thing, and I find this the most motivating, is instead of focusing on the pieces themselves and the fact that they are repeating over and over, is to watch your child's progression. It is very different to look at a infant versus a 3-year-old doing the same pieces and appreciating their journey as they get better and better at what they're doing is really what makes it interesting for you. I would love to hear if you have any variations that you enjoy doing, and you can share them in the comments below. Thank you for joining me this time. Happy practicing.